This is from democratshomeland.house.gov news, okay? If you can pull up the story I just sent you, I want to read it to everybody. Just kind of weird. So this is a month ago, 6 weeks ago. Ranking member Thompson introduces legislation to ensure no Secret Service protection for convicted felons sentenced to prison. This just came out a month and a half before they announced he's a convicted felon. What does this mean? Who knows? Let's read it. Today, Representative Benny G. Thompson, Democrat, ranking member of the Committee of Homeland Security, introduced the denying of infinite security and government resources allocated towards convicted and extremely dishonorable former Protectees Act, or Disgraced Former Protectees Act. This legislation would reform the U.S. Secret Service protective mission by automatically terminating Secret Service protection for those who have been sentenced to prison following conviction for a federal or state felony, clarifying that prison authorities would be responsible for protection of all inmates regardless. Unfortunately, current law doesn't anticipate how Secret Service protection would immediately impact the felony prison sentence of a protectee. Even a former president.
What?
Even a former president, it is regrettable that it has come to this, but this previously thought of scenario could become our reality. Therefore, it is necessary for us to be prepared and update the law so that the American people can be assured that protective status does not translate into special treatment, and that those who are sentenced to prison will indeed serve the time and require them. Hence, this legislation is co-sponsored by Representative Tony Carter, Barbara Lee, Frederica Wilson, Yvette D. Clark, Bonnie Watson, Coleman, Jasmine Crockett, you know who that is?
I know exactly who she is.
Joyce Beatty, and Steve Cohen.
Wow.
So let me get this straight. What is the one thing we've been talking about that we have to be careful with? Remember the night that we did the Convicted Felon podcast? We had, 66,000 live concurred listen to the podcast, and we...
Oh, the reaction.
The reaction video that we did on whatever the night was. It was some night. It could have been a Monday night. I don't know what night it was, but we did it. Rob, you would remember the day.
Thursday.
Thursday night. So how come no one's reported on this story? So let me get this straight. You know... Comey said, Manchin said there's no way he's going to go to jail. Comey said there may. And that's the part I wanted to find to show you guys, because Comey says in that clip with that girl from CNN, Comey says, look, the way he's been disrespecting them, they could potentially put him in jail because he continues to insult.
He's begging for a jail sentence.
He's begging for it.
He's continuing to insult, and she keeps asking, you really believe, Rob, if you just go to CNN, or you pull up this clip, if you just go to CNN, you pull up the clip I just text, just go to CNN, just go to YouTube, type in CNN, and type in Comey. There you go, you got it. So play the clip and go to the tail end of it. It's like two-thirds of way in. And he keeps saying, I don't know. I think because Trump keeps disrespecting, I think he could go to jail. I don't know. The stuff that I don't know, he could go to jail, right? And remember, play the clip. He'll know. He told me he believes.
Nauseating similarities, as he described it, between how that report characterized President Biden while not charging him, and with your actions in 2016 with respect to Hillary Clinton and her email investigation.
Go forward a little bit.
What we tried to didn't rock sense.
Why don't you listen to it individually and see if you can find it or bring it back to us? But here's what happened. Do you remember when 2 weeks ago they asked him, do you think he'll be convicted?
Yeah.
What was his answer?
Oh, for sure.
So do you think he knew, or do you think he's guessing?
I think he knew 100%.
Okay. So watch this. If there's anybody that I pay attention to the words that are coming out of their mouth to see what's going to happen, is this guy. Because they're friends of his, and they're calling him saying, what do you think? What should be careful? If he's saying that Trump could go to jail, you better bank on this 70% that he may go to jail on July 11th. So if on July 11th, which is 2 weeks after the debate, if on July 11th, the judge who cannot stand Trump decides to put him in jail, Then they have now a law to essentially try to remove Secret Service.
Wow.
What they're trying to, this is all, guys, go do your own research. This then creates an environment where now they can do what they can. It's the last straw to be able to eliminate him.
Wow.
This is my concern.
In prison with no Secret Service. Who's watching him?
This is my concern.
Just the regular freaking COs?
And by the way, don't forget, like when you think about Sirhan, we were talking about this briefly last night. Yeah. These people were doing it to be heroes because they felt they were being patriotic to somebody. How many people out there that have not much going on with their lives that are willing to lose it all or willing to do something to be a hero to others that wish somebody would have done that to them? Especially after a movie like Civil War that comes out. So to me, Rob, did you find the clip on what he says?
I believe this is it. This is the clip from...
Go ahead, play it.
You think Judge Merchan should take everything he said? He has called Judge Merchan a tyrant. He likened him to the devil. Every day before he walked into that courtroom, he said he was corrupt, baselessly. Do you think the judge will take that into consideration when he does sentence him in a few weeks?
I do, as well as him having to find that the defendant had acted in contempt of the court's orders on multiple occasions. All of that will be part of the picture that the judge looks at to decide whether a message needs to be sent that involves jail.
Ugh.
As a former FBI director,
Bingo.
what's it
so
like
what's he saying?
To see?
He's saying you better be quiet. Trump's not going to be quiet. If Trump's not quiet, Trump's going to go to jail. If Trump goes to jail, the definition of that article, which was what? A convicted felon that what? What's the key word? A convicted felon that's sentenced
to prison.
So for this, that they, whatever this is from a month and a half ago, that they introduced this bill, April, what's the date again?
April
at the
2024.
April 19th. For this bill to be activated, they would have to sentencing to prison.
Wow.
And it also says, even a former president on the second line. Rob, can you put this link below in the chat so everybody can go look at this link for themselves? Do your due diligence, do your research. If you want to send us anything else on Manek, we're all around. But someone sent this to me. Whoa. They don't want their names to be told. But I thought it was interesting that this has been so quietly, no one's talked about it.
I'm curious to the status of this legislation that they announced. They introduced this bill. I wonder where it's at. You know what I mean? That'd be a good question.
All you need to do is get the bill number, and it'll be HRC.
Okay.
And then it'll have like a 5-digit or a 4-digit number after it, and a letter, usually.
Find out, yeah. Is there a number for the bill?
What do you call it? HRC. So HR. So House of Representatives 8081. And all you have to do is Google that, and you'll see the status of it on any given day. Is it coming up for a vote? How do people vote on it? Is it in committee? And who's leading that committee? And then it gets handed off to the Senate. But HR 8081. Everybody, you can check it every morning and keep your friends and everybody alert and aware of what's happening in the country around you.
Somewhere it's in progress. It's not. It hasn't been knocked down. Disgraced Former Protectees Act. That's crazy.
Oh, and that's what they call it. Disgraced Former Protectees Act.
Is that wild?
Yeah.
So latest action referred to the House Committee on the Judiciary. So it's gone to committee, and then the committee will come out, and then after committee, the committee will let it come out for a vote of the White House.
Well, they have a couple.
That's the next step. That's how the sausage is made.
If there's ever been a time for you to find ways to get better strategies to recreate yourself so you can take your business to the next level in 2024, 2025, this is the time, because AI's speed of advancement is accelerating at pace that most people are not going to be able to follow unless if you're going out there getting these tactics and strategies from others. This is why once a year I host a conference called the Vault Conference. And this year we're doing it at Palm Beach Convention Center for 3.5 days. We go through a 200-page manual where you're filling in. You have case studies with other people you're doing case studies with on different issues that people are going through today. You got nearly 10,000 people in the room for you to network with, business partnerships, contacts with from 60-plus countries, 180 different industries. And we'll have this going on at the Vault Conference in Palm Beach first week of September. And I've invited Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson will be there. This is the first time I'll be interviewing him publicly for 90 minutes. Some may get a chance to meet him backstage as well. Our whole crew will be there. We have a bunch of different surprise prizes that we'll be making at the Vault Conference. But if you're somebody that's watching this and you're saying, wait a minute, all these people are making more money than ever before, why is wealth increasing for the wealthy more than it's increasing for middle and low income or maybe even upper class? Because they're getting the strategies and others are not. Because they're really realizing how to use the tools and others are not leveraging it. My biggest challenge to you is, if you're married, you and your wife. Last year, we had hundreds of couples attend the event together. Bring your wife, bring your husband, bring your business partner. We've got a group of people that are competing to have 50, 100 people event because we'll be recognizing people that have the most representation from their companies on stage. This is an event I'd love for you to attend. September, first week of September, Palm Beach. For those of you guys that have already bought your tickets, go to vtmerch.com on the homepage, click on the Vault Conference event, get your hotels booked as well because they're selling out quickly. You don't want to be somebody that has to book a hotel 30 minutes away because all the other hotels were taken. So if you want to get involved, if you want to spend this time with us, go on vtmerch.com or Rob, the QR code, if you can put the image up there so they can see it. Either go to that QR code or go to vtmerch.com, get your ticket for yourself and your spouse. Let's spend 3.5 days together. And once you get into the community, you'll realize, man, I can't stop getting back into this community. We have so many people that come back every single year because every year it's new challenges, new issues, new things that are going on in the marketplace, and we always have something new going on. And I got a handful of big announcements that I'll be making only to people there. And by the way, for those of you guys that have over 100 Monects you've done, as an executive, like you've done a Monect as an expert, 100 plus, we're going to have a private room for you guys that you'll be with the CEOs. It'll be top-notch people you want to be networking with. Having said that, looking forward to seeing you guys all at the Vault Conference.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.